Today I'm going to show you a different way of making a delicious vanilla cake recipe. This method is done using the reverse creaming method. It's an interesting way of making a cake and it makes an absolute delicious cake. Using the reverse creaming method, also known as the paste method, you mixed all your dry ingredients together. Yes, not just creaming the butter, you mix your butter, you mix your sugar, you mix your flour and your baking soda all together in one bowl. Once you have done that, then you're going to be adding the wet ingredients. It looks strange, but trust the process, it works. So here in the mixing bowl, I have all my dry ingredients, my room temperature butter, granulated white sugar, flour and the baking powder, and then I'm going to mix it together until it's well combined. You're going to have a crumbly sand-like texture when the flour is all mixed together. This is what you are after, and that's why it's called reverse creaming. So you can see the texture here. It literally looks like wet sand. So that is how your dry ingredients should look once it's all mixed up. Make sure you stop between mixing to scrape the bowl and make sure it's nicely combined before you then move on to the next part, which is mixing the wet ingredients. So the wet ingredients that we're using for this recipe is buttermilk, which is already in the measuring jug, vanilla extract flavoring, as well as your eggs. Now, the advantage of using the reverse creaming method is that it's much harder or almost impossible to overmix your cake. Because you are mixing the dry ingredients together, you can mix it for as long as necessary until it's well combined, so that by the time you're adding the wet ingredient, which is what activates the gluten molecules, you don't need to do much mixing to get your cake batter combined. So this is a really good recipe for cake beginners, so I hope that you will try it. So I've whisked together all the wet ingredients and then I'm just going to adding it to the dry ingredient mix in bits, allowing a little bit of time for the first batch to mix with the cake batter. You can start to see it starts to become more like a dough-like consistency, and then as you gently add the wet mixture, it will start to thin out and start to look like batter. If you haven't subscribed to Dr. Mummy Cakes, I can tell you now that you are missing out big time. So please subscribe, click the subscribe button and turn on notification so that you know when I post a new video. So you can start to see now this is looking more like the cake batter that you know. We're not quite there yet, that's too thick, but I'm just scraping it all around to make sure that all the bits at the bottom is nicely combined. And then I'm going to add the rest of the buttermilk gradually. I would like to know if you have ever seen a recipe using the reverse creaming method and your experience with this, or even when you bake this cake, if you can share with me in the comment section how you found this recipe. That will be really good to know. So once it's nicely combined, now you can start to see that it's starting to look like a cake batter. So you see, if you trust the process, it works. It absolutely works. And there is gorgeous cake batter. And then you're going to put it into your pre-prepared cake tin and then bake in your oven until when you put a cake tester or a skewer in, it comes out nice and cleanly. So this recipe will make 3 6-inch cakes. You can also use this cake recipe mixture to make 2 8-inch cake if that's what you prefer. So put it into your cake tin, which you should have pre-prepared. If you're not sure how to line a cake tin, it's in the description section how to do this. And here is our finished cake, and I'm going to show you a neat trick. If you have a slight dome, take a piece of paper towel and just use that and press gently on your cake while it's still hot, like literally as soon as it's out of the oven, and that will flatten any slight doming. So that's a nice trick which you should try. And then you just have to then take it out of the cake tin and decorate your beautiful, delicious vanilla cake. So I hope that you'll add this cake recipe to your list of cake recipes to try. And I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes your go-to vanilla cake. So if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you've got any questions, comment. I would love to hear from you in the description section. And yeah, all that's left to say is happy baking, and I will see you next time